right, so I noticed that there's something missing from Awesomeness Fest. Sexual tension. So I thought, because this has been a very conservative, to yourself group, and there's not enough sexual energy in the room, that maybe we should raise our sexual energy. So can I get a little help back there, Aaron? I'm looking for some music here. Okay, anyway, that was totally uncalled for. Yes, yes? Yes, yes! All right. So I wanted to do some things with you to really close out this awesome event. But I want to get the family back together here. So let's do this. I want everybody to stand up. And I want you to fill in up front as many of the chairs next to you. I don't want open seats. That creates an energy gap for me, and then I have to bounce my energy around the room. I'd rather have this be an entire tight-knit family. So let's fill in the front chairs. Let's make sure all the chairs are filled in, and I have my tight family with me. All right. So you notice how that actually changes the room's dynamic? Because human beings are not separate. We're connected. And when we spend the time connecting, as I shared in the opening of Awesomeness Fest, magical things take place. So we did a lot of sharing activities to connect to each other. But this program, this portion of the program, my talk, is about how do you connect with the most important person in your life. And that's the person sitting in your chair. It's the person that oftentimes you put last. So you might have this huge heart, and you may be saving children in Africa, and you may be doing massive things, but are you giving to yourself? Are you connected to yourself? You get a lot of epiphanies in life. At 3 a.m, in an emergency room of a hospital. On October 10th, 2007, I was laying in a gurney, looking up at the ceiling, watching the fluorescent lights go by. It felt like a football-sized object had been lodged in my back, and it exploded. Now, with my condition, it's called osteogenesis imperfecta, caused the bones to be extremely brittle. And I had fractured by the time I turned 18 over 200 times. Something as simple as sneezing could fracture a collarbone growing up. But on October 10th, 2007, I felt the pain that trumped all of those fractures. It felt as if something had exploded inside me, and we were racing to the hospital. 3 a.m, I was on the road. I wasn't at home. I mean, why is it that some of the most disastrous things in our lives just don't fit in with our schedules? You know, why can't we die when we're ready? Why can't we suffer when we're prepared and we have our PJs on? You know, why does this have to come when we least expect it? Raise your hand if you can feel me on that. So, thank you. So, Awesomeness Fest, you've learned a lot of tools about visualizing and loving and connecting and dancing and moving. And it's so easy to feel good in this environment. But I'm not so impressed about you feeling good in this environment. I'm impressed when you can take this home. I'm impressed when you get that phone call that you didn't want to get, and you can keep this space. I'm impressed when something happens in your family or with your lover that you never wished showed up at your door, and you can remember this space. I am impressed with individuals who can take the seminar and put it inside of them. Because I believe that reality doesn't create mentality. It's not like things happen and then we get our interpretations of them. It just looks that way. I believe that mentality creates reality. That as we create the inner world, the outer world eventually heads towards that picture. Now, what you're going to learn in today's portion of the program is that you have to be okay with whatever the outer world looks like, because that's out of your control. There's things you can do to influence it, but it's completely out of your control. What's in control is the inner world, the inner weather that you have control over. 3 a.m, racing through the hospital. It's now leaking into my body. I can feel myself dying. I'm in my 20s at the time, and I'm thinking, really? This is how I'm going out. I'm laying in a cold, sterile hospital. I don't know anyone here. None of these nurses or doctors are mine. And I gotta tell you, oxygen in that space is so pure. Because you taste it. You taste the oxygen when you think it could be your last set of oxygens. And I felt that something burst, and I remember as if my life had been totally brought to a screeching halt. And I waited as I went through the MRI to figure out what was going on at that hospital. And the pain just kept growing, and it felt like somebody had strapped on soccer cleats and was kicking me from the inside out, harder and harder and harder, until finally I thought, you know what? It might be better dying. It might be better just letting all this suffering go. Who here hasn't had that flirtation of, you know what, maybe it would be better just to let all this suffering go? What if I just relax and just let death take me now? I don't have to have somebody pick me up out of this wheelchair and put me on a toilet anymore. I don't have to have somebody else dress me or shower me. I'll be able to, in the next life, maybe get a totally new body and a new experience. So maybe now's the time. Just let go, Sean. And I went inside. And I began shutting down all the portals to the real world. My eyes closed, my ears closed off. I stopped feeling the external world. And a movie projector went on. And that movie projector started showing pictures, starting off from that cold hospital room, 1979, when the doctors told my parents, Sean's not going to make it. And I saw my mom's tears and my dad's tears. And I thought, oh, God, am I going to leave this world the same way I came into it? In a cold hospital room, scared? I sure hope not. Then another picture came on. I was older. I was in grade school. And I saw this girl from down the street who leaned over my wheelchair to give me my first kiss in kindergarten. I felt like, oh, I like this thing called women. I really do. And then the pictures started to change faster. I could see grade school, my friends Dave, Tucker, Katie, Joanne, they all started showing up. And then I saw fracture after fracture of the bones, and yet seeing how close my family was, always being there, telling me, Sean, you're not going to be able to do everything, so figure out what you can do and do the best. The pictures started coming quicker and quicker, and then I saw these thousands and then millions of people, faces that I couldn't put names to, and then I realized they were the faces of everyone that had been in my audiences for all the 15 years that I'd traveled. I'd squeezed myself into little jets and cargo planes and all these things that I've had to go on to get to audiences to share my message. I started seeing, waiting in terminals, and all these moments were just flashing faster and faster. Then I saw my heart being broken in my 20s over and over, and I started seeing the crying, I started seeing the laughing, and the pictures were just coming so fast that they curled off the screen and went around me and created a memory cyclone, and the energy started coming closer and closer, and I started breathing faster and faster, and I thought, is this how your life ends? You just see everything, and then everything stopped. And I thought, that's it. You get a picture of your life. It's a quick little film strip. And then it's blackness. Then something else happened. The movie projector came back on. Except this time there was a different film. This time the film was a horror film. But it wasn't about aliens or axe murders. It wasn't about government conspiracies. What was this horror film? It was pictures of everything I always wanted to do and never got around to. It was that orphanage called Adopt an Angel that I wanted to create for babies with disabilities in third world countries where they're normally drowned and killed because, well, disabled children outside of civilized countries, they're a big economic challenge to the family and they're a disgrace, so we must drown them because we don't want to carry them around. And I saw that my orphanage that I always wanted to create never happened. And I saw the kids in my confidence camp that I always wanted to create, where I could teach children the best valuable lessons that you've been learning at Awesomeness Fest about health, wealth, and relationships. And those kids, they go on without me, never being able to attend those confidence camps. And I see the wife that I never got to walk down the aisle with. And the baby that I never got to hold that was mine. And my chest started to implode. I said, just let me out! Let me out! I want another chance! I know I took so much time I wasted. It's stupid amounts of time. And I worried about myself, and what if they like me, or should I try this, or what if I fail? No, I want another chance. Just give me another chance. And then the movie shut off. And the world shook again. And pain came searing back into my body. And I loved pain, because pain told me I was still alive. Do you get that? You get that. Every single one of you. If you're feeling pain, you are still alive. So I don't feel sorry for you that you're going through what you're going through, because guess what? There's still time on the clock. If you think that you're too old or too young, too thin, too fat, stop it right now. There's still time on the clock. And when I woke up, the doctor came in and he said, we have some good news and we have some bad news. The good news is, you're not going to die. The bad news is, the next 24 hours of your life are going to be the most excruciating pain known to humanity. And I looked at the doctor and I said, bring it on. I know pain. I know pain. Pain and I are like cousins that don't always get along. You see him at the family reunion, and you're like, oh man, we share DNA, really? They should have used a condom with you. In that hospital, what I did is I turned to the nurse. See, it wasn't 24 hours of excruciating pain, it was 36. I had a kidney stone lodged between the bladder and the bladder and the kidney, and they couldn't get to it. And so the pressure kept building up in my kidney, and they said eventually the pressure will get to be so large it'll push it into the bladder. And so you will go from the most massive amount of pain to no pain at all in less than a second. And it'll be caused by something so tiny. I started to think about you. I started to think about each and every one of you. Well, sometimes it's the tiniest thing that when it's lodged in the wrong place in our life can bring us to our knees and make us think that maybe we should just end it all. But when it passes, you will feel a glorious experience. You know what relief is? Relief is the finality of pain. And I think relief is better than pleasure. Because pleasure is stimulation. Pleasure is about like this conscious decision. Relief is that final ending of pain. And boom, you get time back on the clock. Fresh. No obstruction. That's what I want for you. I want you to feel relief. I asked the nurse, I said, please give me a napkin and a pen. Stat. So she gets a napkin and a pen. I start jotting down a list, a bucket list. I said, I need to do these things. I'm given a second chance. I started writing down places I want to visit, people I want to meet, things I want to do. Start writing down, meet the Dalai Lama. That's when I made that decision to meet the Dalai Lama. That's when I wrote down, meet Richard Branson, get a television show, come out with a major best-selling book. All of these things, as you know, have transpired. Why? Because I loved that I had more time on the clock. In a sick, twisted way, I wish I could lodge that experience into you so that you could plead and beg and say, I want more time. But the good news is, I can't do that to you. The good news is, you don't even need to go through that. The good news is, Awesomeness Fest can be that relief for you. And as I made that list, I visualized, I saw you've had plenty of content about goal setting. But what I want to do is I want to remind you of something. You're going to rot. Your tissue is going to disintegrate off of your bones. And then your bones will disappear. As if you never were here. And it's debated what happens next for us, is it? Yes, it totally is. But what's not debated is that there's still time on the clock for you. How do I know? You're breathing. You're hearing me and seeing me. So what I want to do right now is I want you to have 1 minute. Pull out your notepads or your laptops, and I want you to write your bucket list. And if you say, oh, Sean, I've already done that, do it again. And we're going to put on some music. And don't use it as an excuse to go potty, because I'm going to give you some awesome stuff coming up. You're going to get 1 minute, and here's what you're going to write down. People I want to meet, places I want to go, and things I want to experience. There's still time on the clock. Who's that one person? Who's that one person that you think, man, we could just bond if we were together in a room? Maybe you've looked up to them your whole life, and you thought, but what value can I bring to them? Let that fear go. What's that one place? Is it outer space? Is it underwater? Is it in a foreign land? Or is it your childhood home that you're scared to go back and visit? What's that one experience? You think, oh man, I would never see myself doing that. But the courageous people, they do that. I just wish I just had the courage to just jump out of that plane. Or walk up to that girl and say, hey, can I buy you a drink? Would you like to go out? Or that family that you'd like to start again. Maybe you've been divorced and you think, well, you know, I got my one time. Could I really find love again? Yes. Yes, you can. As you come to a close on this activity, I want you to now put your pens down, stop typing, and I want you to put your right hand above that list. And I want you to take energy from your heart chakra, and I want you to flow it down your arm and into that list. And I just want you to say to yourself, and I do not mean this in any religious sense of the word, so let that fear go, thy will be done. This is mine. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Turn to your neighbor and say, thank you. All right. So let's get the microphone people out. Microphone runners, can we do that? I want to get 3 shares, 1 person, 1 place, and 1 thing or experience. I want to hear some bucket list items. And bucket list, in case you haven't seen the movie, is things you want to do before you kick the bucket. Okay? So let's get 1 person, 1 place, 1 thing. Raise your hand if you have a person. Raise your hand if you have a person. So run back there. Let's get 1 person share.
Hi, my name's Brett. There's obviously plenty of people I'd like to meet, but the first person that came to my mind, I love music, would be the band Pearl Jam. I saw them last year, and they really inspire me, and I really just want to say to their faces thank you for the effort. And their music has been such a part of my life for so long that it would be a shame not to just look them in the eye and say...
It would be a shame. Let's give them a round of applause.
To say thank you.
All right, so let's get a place. Who has a place they want to visit? Let's get them up here. Stand up, please.
I want to survive long enough to get on a spaceship and go to another planet and meet an alien race on their turf. That's
nice.
What I want to do.
Give it up. All right, and let's get a experience or a thing you'd like to have. Experience or a thing, right up here. Let's get one mic runner up here. You want to go to Lifeboat, right? No, I'm just kidding. Stand up.
I would like to help work with you on opening an orphanage for disabled children. And that was actually part of my reason for wanting to come here to meet you and a couple of other speakers that were here. So,
thank you. You'll have to talk to my agent. No, I'm just kidding. I'd love to talk to you. Okay, so Now what I want to do is I want to switch it up from something as serious as you're going to die to it's time to live. All right? When people meet me, they make a lot of assumptions, both before they meet me and after they meet me. So before they meet me and before they know anything about me, it goes something like this. They'll see me and they'll go, that must be tough. Boy, am I glad I'm not him. I wonder if he can do it. No, it is not tough. And yes, I can do it. Anyway, so... Sorry, Mom and Dad, you had to hear that. Okay. So I want to talk about living. So that then the people meet me, then they get to meet me and spend time with me, and then they go, oh my goodness, like, you probably never have a bad day, do you? Like, how do you deal with your bad days? How many people would like to know how Sean deals with his bad day? Would you like that? Okay. I don't have bad days. No, I'm just kidding. One of the things that I do, and can we cue up that video? Alex in the room still? All right. Okay, so here's the thing. Not yet. So one of the things I do, you can put it up there. Just don't hit play yet, please. So it's got almost 700,000 views. Raise your hand if you've seen this video. Well, hello. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is I'm going to tell you, this wasn't just like some marketing viral idea that I got from Joe Polish, okay? And I love you, Joe. So what this is this is what I do in my life. Okay, I go through moments where I get stressed. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that speech canceled, and that's where am I going to get the money now that I was going to do this project, and now that's not going to happen? How are we going to reform it? Or I deal with my therapy clients, and they're really challenging, tough things. Or something goes on in a product shipping challenge. Or there's a lot of things that go on in my business that I have to be totally there for. And you know how I live? I do what I call a dance party. Okay? And this video sat for 8 months with only 20,000 views. It was a video I did for my Mindvalley blog, okay? And then one day, something happened. Where's Telman in the room? Telman called me and he goes, dude, are you sitting down? I'm like, yes, I am, Telman. I said, what's going on? He's like, have you checked your YouTube count? I'm like, no. Why? He's like, you're blowing up. You just went up 150,000 views on one of your videos in the last 2 hours. What? And I'm like, what? And so I raced to the computer, I checked this out, and in a period of 1 month, this thing jumped to almost 700,000. Why? Because it got caught up on a couple blogs, and people started to love it. It has, how many comments do we have on it now? Can you scroll down a little bit? I think it's like over 3,000. Scroll down a little bit on the window. There, what is it? 3,527, all right? So people are talking. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch this video, and I want everybody to, in your chairs, because you're going to model me now, all right? In your chairs, you are going to do a Sean Stephenson dance party. Are you guys committed to this experience? Yes. All right. Make sure we got plenty of sound. I want to hear it loud and clear. So, start it off. Hi, I'm Sean Stephenson, and I have to warn you, what you're about to see is going to be intense. And, well, just say you've been warned. I have a question. What do you do to get pumped up? All right? Well, I'm going to show you what I do. And in fact, I'm going to take it to the next level, because I want you to do it with me. I call it a dance party. Yeah. So, it's going to start off really simple. Just shoulders right now. And you might think, what is he doing? Why is he doing this? Because it gets your body moving. And it makes your spirit feel good. So we're moving the shoulders. And then we're going to start to get the arms inboard. good. It's called a dance party. And we're going to take it up a notch in a moment. You guys ready to take it up? Oh, that's hot. All right, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, he's gone crazy. And I have. Because life is meant to be enjoyed. I want to see some chest bumps. Come on. All right, so now, you're going to lose it now in a moment. When the chorus really gets going, you're going to look around, make sure that you're alone when you do this, all right? Now clap with me. It's called a dance party. And you do it about 3 times a day.
3 times a day.
Get your favorite song on, and you get your move on. Because life is supposed to be silly, not so serious. I know this is probably going to be like the most watched video, but dance with me anytime you want.
Shake it out, shake it out.
Are you dancing? Are you laughing at me? You're laughing at me. I know you're laughing at me. I would laugh at me. But you're going to watch this anytime you want to feel good. So you're going to remember, leave yourself dance parties. Life is too short to get all serious and not have a good time. I'm Sean Stephenson. Thanks for watching. So you're here. Because of you. No, thank you. You're here, and you're feeling good. You're opening your heart. You're allowing yourself space to be vulnerable. But I want to fast forward. I want to fast forward to when you're back at your home, or your apartment, or your friend's place, or wherever your next location happens to be. 1 week from today. And I want you to sit down in wherever space in your mind you think you'll be. And I want you to realize that the only way you're going to have a phenomenal, awesome quality of life is by living this message and the messages you learned here when no one's watching. And I love Stephen Covey. He says, it's the private victories that matter. But I know that you're going through some tough stuff right now. You're going through some hardships. I know you are. And something has to happen in order for you to really get the value out of this conference. And in order to really create a space so you can hear me on this, I need to go back in time again. Back in time to the 3rd grade. I'm in the 3rd grade, and I go to school that morning, and I want to tell you something really personal. Can I share something extremely personal? And some people could laugh, but I really ask you not to. Can I share something really personal? Okay. So when I was a kid, in order to go to the bathroom, I needed to have my parents come get me from school and bring me home because I had a special toilet seat that I could use at home. that I couldn't use at the school. And this is days before cell phones, and my mom and dad were at work, and I went to school. I remember the day that my privacy was stripped from me. I remember the day as if it was yesterday. I go into class and I'm wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt, and I feel gurgling in my stomach. And then all of a sudden I realized that my stomach was upset and that I was going to have diarrhea. And I realized that I had to call home right away. I call home, and my dad's at work, and my mom was not at work that day, actually. She was running errands, but this was before cell phones. We start calling people. No one's home. And I'm holding this pain, and I'm thinking, Sean, just hold it in, buddy. Hold it in. You can do this. Hold on. And the pain just kept building and building, and the pressure kept building. And then I got a brilliant idea. I got this idea that, you know what, Sean? Maybe if you just go in your pants, no one will notice. Maybe it's just on how you act. If you act like nothing's wrong, then no one will tease you. And then maybe finally you'll reach somebody, but you'll be able to get out of this pain. Just go, Sean. You can do it. And I remember just going in my pants, and I thought, And then I just played along, like, hey, how's it going? Nothing's wrong here, nothing to see here, everything's good. And let me ask you, we have how many senses? How many senses do we have? Five, well, that were measurable, kind of, five. What's a sense of, that the human body has that might not allow me to get away with this? Smell. Everybody reach out, touch your nose. We can smell things, can't we? Hopefully. So, people around me. I'm in third grade. Kids start to laugh. Kids start to tease me. Teachers are, you could see the sympathy in the teachers' faces. They didn't know what to say, what to do. And I just kept acting like, nope, nothing to see here. I'm fine. Nothing's wrong. I'm good. Let me fast forward to today. And I look back at little Sean. Littler Sean? I don't know. I look back at little Sean and I think, you were just doing what most of society does, Sean. You were just shitting yourself and acting like nothing was wrong and that no one else could tell. You may not realize this, but there's something going on in your life that you're just not being really honest with yourself on, isn't there? Maybe something going on in your finances right now that you're not looking at. Maybe something going on in your relationship you're not wanting to talk about. Something going on with your health, your physical body. No, I'm just the perfect weight I need to be. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't have low blood pressure. I mean, the doctor's wrong. I'm just going to, I'll be fine. There's something going on, isn't there? And you're over there no different than little Sean, filling your pants thinking no one can tell. You're full of shit. And you know it. And that's okay, because I'm here to tell you, here's what happened next. We finally were able to reach someone. They came over and they did the best they could to give me dignity. They cleaned me up and just kept saying, look at me, look in my eyes, Sean, look in my eyes. Everything's fine. And I'm here to do that for you. I'm here to clean you up. It's okay. Whatever you've been going through, your financial challenges, your relationship challenges, your wealth challenges, challenges you have and trying to figure out your life purpose. I know there's a mess there, okay? We both know that. But there's nothing to feel ashamed about. You did the best you could. You held on as long as you could. And now you just need to get cleaned up. Now you need somebody to swoop in and tell you that it's accepting what's really going on and discussing it and declaring it that allows the cleaning process to begin. Mindvalley and I have worked on a program to clean you up. You're part of it right here with Awesomeness Fest, but I need to make sure that you go home living what you've learned here. Because I'm not impressed with people having a good time at a seminar, because it's easy. You know, you got all kinds of music and joy, and everybody's hugging and loving, and you're learning valuable information, and it's imperative. But now the work begins. Now the seminar comes to a close, the real work begins. So I had an idea last night when I was watching everybody cramming up at the food table and this line is too long, blah, 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 right? And I was thinking, all right, can you live the seminar in the real world? And how can I help you? And how can I clean you up and give you dignity back to your life? So Mindvalley and I created a program called Living at Cause. Raise your hand if you've heard of it. Living at Cause, okay? So there's a lot of you that are in for a treat. The Living at Cause program is my life's work boiled into 2 DVDs, 10 CDs, and a magical workbook. And guess what? Last night I met with Vishen, and I said, you know what? They all need it. They all need it. Let's give it to them. So, what we're going to do is we're going to give you all a free copy of the Living at Cause program. Would that be something you'd be interested in? So let's talk about Living at Cause, because I'm going to be the intro to this program. You're going to get an email from Alex. Where's Alex in the room? I always say, hi, Alex. Hi, Alex. Alex and can I celebrate Alex for a moment? Yes. Okay. So Vishen and I met a year and a half ago on Necker. Then he flew up to Chicago. He said, I cannot do a seminar unless I party with you, okay? I cannot do a product unless I party with you. So he came to Chicago and we partied, all right? And I'm glad I took his camera away from him. So then he said, I want you to come to Malaysia. And I said, when? He's like, in 2 weeks. I'm like, Malaysia in 2 weeks? No way. Like, I need people to travel with me. He's like, whatever you need. Whatever you need. Vishen, you truly lived up to that. You brought everything I needed to get there. But then when I got there, I was so excited because you said, you know what, Sean, I really want to make sure that when we create a Mindvalley program with you, that you love the experience because you're going to be really close and working with someone. Who do you want to work with? Now, I don't even know if you fully know this story, Alex. I looked at all the Mindvalley employees, and they're all amazing. And I said, I want to work with Alex, and here's why. Because she's the only one that I feel scared of. She's the only one that I am really concerned what would happen if I didn't get my work done and send it to her on time. She's a pit bull, and I need a pit bull on Sean Stephenson for the purpose of getting this program done. So Alex and I, for the past year now, have been speaking on Skype and email, would you say hundreds of times now? And our time zones, anywhere depending on 13 to 14 hours, depending on the time zone changes, are getting up or going to bed and having to do crazy hour meetings to put together and market and get out into the world this program you're going to get for free, Living at Cause. And what I love about you, Alex, is that you do not look at me as some kind of guru. You look at me as a human. And you have told me when you think my hair looks shitty, in the middle of the night, you say, Sean, your hair's a mess. That's disgusting. Clean up. And you've called me and you said, Sean, I needed this project 2 weeks ago. What's wrong with you? I mean, she's had that kind of conviction for my greatness. So, Alex, I honor you. Thank you. So let's talk about living at cause. The time that I have remaining, I want to give you a brief synopsis of it, and then you're going to get the full experience. Now, when I give you something, I need to make sure there's a value exchange, or guess what? You're not going to go through it. Because you're just going to see it as, oh, it's just a free program I got, and I don't care because I didn't spend any money on it. Blah, blah. I can't have you do that to me. That would be an unfair exchange of value, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay, so what I need from you is I need you to go through the program and then give us feedback on the program. And I know I'm asking for a lot, but I'm asking you within the next 12 months that everybody in this room has gone through this program and then given us feedback. Can you commit in the next 12 months, so in the year of 2011, you will have finished living at cause. Will you do that? Yes. So let's talk about living at cause. It's a concept that I live by. It's a formula, so pull out your pens and paper, your laptops if necessary. I want you to draw the big letter C as in cause, and then the greater than sign, so it's the open mouth alligator. C's over here, and then on the other side it's E. So C is greater than E. It's a formula that if I were to ever get a tattoo, I'm going to get on my body. And I say that with truth because I've had clients leave my office and go to the tattoo parlor and get this tattooed onto their hand. Their writing hand, because when they're writing checks, they're writing letters, or they're picking up the phone, they see it. Cause is greater than effect. When people live at cause, what do I mean by that? Well, you know someone is living at cause in their life when they have, and this is the word you want to write down, the results that they want. When they have the results that they want. And circle and underline and star the word results. Because I'm not impressed with words. I'm impressed with actions. I'm impressed with results. You know how I know when you're living at cause? When you have the life that you want and the categories of your life. I told you need to go to Lifebook because I want you to live at cause in those 12 categories. But I boil them down to 3: health, wealth, and relationships. You need to have the results you want in your physical health, spiritual, emotional, all those subcategories. There's probably about 4 of them in your health. Your wealth, not just your financial wealth, but the wealth of people in your life, all the wealth in your life. And then the relationships, both the friendship, the love, and the family. You know, I meet people and they'll be like, oh, I have these great relationships, but maybe they're not in communication at all with their family. And they think they have great relationships. Let me tell you something about family. Family challenge us more than anyone, don't they? Because we can't really get rid of them, can we? And we can disown them, we can leave them, we can travel the world and never talk to them, but at the end of the day, you know we share DNA with them. That doesn't mean that if you have an abusive or toxic family that you need to spend lots of time with them. I'm not saying that. But I'm telling you, if you hate your family or you don't like your family, it's going to show up in your life when you start yours, when you have yours, when you create. Whatever you despise owns you. Write that down. Whatever you despise or hate owns you. When you live at cause, you have the results that you want. And the way that you get the results that you want, and this is the next word that you're going to write under that, is you have to master the art of ownership. You have to own it. Don't tell me why you're not in great shape. Don't tell me why you don't have the money that you want. Don't tell me why you're unhappily in relationships. You know what? Because honestly, that's your thing. You have to own that right now you are where you are so that you can go where you want to be. And when you own something, then you have the power. So now let's move over to the E side of the equation. That stands for effect. When you live at effect, you don't have the results that you want. You have a new word, and you want to star, circle, and underline this word. You have the reasons for why you don't have those things. You have reasons for why you don't have what you want. I wrote a book. How many people have read the Get Off Your Butt book? Anybody seen or read? Okay, if you haven't, write that. This is the title of the book. It's called Get Off Your Butt, spelled B-U-T. When you live at effect, you have all your butt reasons. I would exercise, but I don't have the, help me fill that in, but I don't have the time, the energy, the gym membership, the fancy clothes. I don't have the body that I want to show off at the gym. Okay? Those are all effect living. That's all the reasons for why you don't have what you want. That's about blaming. The opposite of ownership is blame. So what do we have to do? We have to get to cause. And that's going to take some energy, because I'm going to tell you, you can see in people's lives whether they're living at cause or not. Whether they're living at cause or effect. So let me give you some quick global examples. People living at cause have the bank account that they want to have. Now, I'm not going to tell you you need to be rich. Honestly, some people don't. Some people love a $100,000 lifestyle. Vishen and I disagree on this one, and I respectfully disagree with him. Because for them, money's not important. They would rather be doing other things and dedicate their life to service, like a Mother Teresa, and I have to celebrate that. But for some of you, you may want to be wealthy. It's really, what do you want? Because when you tell me what you want, then I am excited to help you go get it. So when you have what you want, then you have a target to go after. So you have to take ownership. So when we see effect, though, we see people that are dealing with weight challenges. We see bankruptcy issues. We see divorce. These aren't bad. These aren't like, oh, I need to feel guilt and shame. It's a matter of just saying, look, you know what? I've been living at effect. I've been creating lots of reasons for why I don't have what I want. You know why you live at effect? And I have lived at effect and still choose some days to live at effect? Because it's easier. It's easier initially. It gets us off the hook. We can pull that card of, I don't know what to do. Help me, save me. Or it's cushier over here to have people feeling sorry for me. I want you to write this down. Pity is a drug. Is a drug. Pity is a drug. And when I see people that are feeling pity, and I've been in that space, you know what it does? It's like you're just getting your smack, and you're getting your veins all ready, and then you're like, oh, man, I'm lonely, I'm scared, I'm unhealthy, and you just keep slapping that vein, and then you shoot it up, and you go to somebody and you tell them, you're like, oh, my husband left me, my wife left me, or oh, I've always been overweight, or oh, I'm unhealthy and this isn't my fault, and it's my doctor's fault, and we just keep shooting up this drug, and then people are like, oh, sweetie, come, I'm gonna love you right now, and you get this love hit that you think is love, but let me tell you, it ain't love, it's pity. It's a drug. Because then you go, well, you know what? I don't have to do anything about this because I'm getting attention. I'm getting affection. I'm getting money. I'm getting something out of this. So I'm just going to keep doing this. And I'm not trying to be up on the stage and say, I don't do that. I've done this with you. But if you're going to be honest, you're going to tell me you know what I'm talking about. And when you live in effect, you keep going back to that drug of pity, 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 pity. And you cannot live in that space if you want to live the life that I believe you were designed for. Because the clock is ticking, is it not? None of it. I love the fact that we don't know when we're going to die. It's so awesome. And I love that we're going to die. I love it. You know why I love it? Because it makes sweet. You got to live forever. You've seen those vampire movies. The vampire's miserable. He's like, oh, I have to do this another day. Be happy you're gonna die. Because it makes this sweet. It makes this awesome. I want everybody to give death a round of applause. I'm telling you, nothing in our universe is an accident. I just recently spoke at La Ciudad de las Ideas, the City of Ideas, in Mexico, outside of Mexico City. And I debated some of the best scientists and theologians on whether the universe has a purpose. Basically, it boiled down to, is there a God or not? And I don't have all the answers. And I don't proclaim to have all the answers, but what I do know is that there's a magical space here. And what I do know is that mentality creates reality. I know that a 3-foot-tall man in a wheelchair can have a beautiful lover, an amazing family, a booming business, a 6-pack set of abs, a flow of abundance. I know that because I've created that. And I created it, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. What you need to do to live at cause is you need to own your life where you are. Own the mess that maybe you've got yourself in right now, and own the cleanup process. Guilt, shame, you saw it on that vibrational scale. I love that because it literally is such a low vibration. I need you to hear me so clearly when I say this. You are all so beautiful. You are all so smart. You are all so talented. You are also loved. You're also important. You're also a necessary piece for humanity. You are all so ready for the next level. I want you to take 3 conscious breaths with me right now. 1. Let it out with gratitude. 2. Let it out. And 3. It's time. Awesomeness Fest is coming to a close. You're planning your life as you go home, aren't you? Who do you need to call? What person do you need to say goodbye to? What person do you need to introduce yourself to? What project has been overlooked? What exercise regime needs to be started? What nutritional program are you ready to go on? And what life are you ready to lead? It has been my pleasure leading up here with you. Thank you.